Throwing money in the air, watch it fall. Popping bottles, alcohol, enough for us all. I think I just fell in love with this girl in the hall. Got a phone number, wasn't even planning to call. Had her in the bathroom, way her body shaped, ooh. I think she a dancer, it don't even matter. I know if I called her, she wasn't finna answer. Some reason now I'm flake, nose clean the plate. Sky still nice, baby, how you feel? I know them titties fake, but that ass real. I know that skirt short, but that hair long. If you drop that bad girl attitude, I bet we get along. If you fuck with me, I guarantee you'll be neglected. But she young and reckless, and she can't help you like a nigga necklace. She said, nigga, please, you're a guaranteed flex on my exes. So much ice, man, the light might catch the watch and change your life. Don't wear no nights, only wear Versace. Got still nice white, catching bodies. Shotty riding, bitch, a bitch riding shotty. White ain't the only thing, catching bodies if a nigga try me. This ain't a trigger finger, it's a dance floor. Diamonds dancing, I met your girlfriend on the dance floor. And I romance. Throwing money in the air, watch it fall. Popping bottles, alcohol, enough for us all. I think I just fell in love with this girl in the hall. Got a phone number, wasn't even planning to call. Had her in the bathroom, way her body shaped, ooh. I think she a dancer, it don't even matter. I know if I called her, she wasn't finna answer. Some reason now I'm flake, nose clean the plate.
Hey, what's going on, guys? MB here on the Royal Compass podcast, and this is the first one that we're going to leave up on YouTube. So shout out to everybody tuning in today. Obviously, if you're checking this out, you've already been a subscriber to my channel in the past, or you're coming over from TikTok, where after 5 days on TikTok, we crossed 21,000 followers. Currently, let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen for you real quick. Let you check it out. There you have it right there, 21.3 thousand followers in 5 days. It's June 4th right now, 2:48 a.m. Central Standard Time. We got 105.9 thousand likes on our videos. Video I put up today is at 245,000 views. I don't know what to say, man. A lot of people, I guess I need to scoot over here, don't I? Okay, anyways, a lot of people are obviously liking the content or finding it provocative, interesting. They want to talk about it, and because of that, we're hitting the algorithm on TikTok pretty hard. With that being said, at the beginning of the show, I want to let you guys know I am the author of this book right here, Blueprint of a King, Royal Compass, The Pursuit of Excellence. Hardback book, nice book right here. You can go ahead and pick it up over at royalcompass.com. The book's $300. No, it might sound pricey, right? But the amount of money that you're going to spend in a relationship, you better make sure that you're keeping that lady that you're messing with. So if you want to keep her, you need to get this book right here. Otherwise, there's a good chance it's not going to last forever. So make sure to go ahead and check that book out. If you like the videos and you like the content I put up on TikTok and you like this podcast, that book is the holy grail of information. I worked a very long time on writing that book, putting that book together, and it's filled with all my insights, true facts about the nature of man and woman and how they interact in their relationships. And feel free to go ahead and pick it up. And once again, that's over at royalcompass.com. I sign every book. You become a member of our PKS community, positivity, knowledge, and strategy. And that's something very proud to be part of. Anyways, with that being said, I want to get on here and do a more of an extended broadcast. I did a live broadcast the other night on TikTok, and we actually ended up getting banned because I didn't realize that you can not use cuss words on TikTok, and that's very unfortunate because I have a potty mouth, and I'm going to have to learn to check that. Evidently, I can use them in the videos we upload, but when we go live on the live stream, it is just not something we can do. So with all that being said, here we are tonight, and really, I got a couple things I want to talk about the videos that really hit hard on our TikTok page this week and the thoughts behind them, because a lot of people are taking those videos for face value, just exactly what the video says in the little 60-second clip. Now, towards the end of the week, once we went over 10,000 followers, which was actually only yesterday, we were allowed to upload only 60 seconds. But once we passed 10,000 followers, yesterday, they upped our limit. They said, hey, you can now do 3-minute videos. And we uploaded our first 3-minute video yesterday. And that video was women are incapable, will never love you as a man. And we talked about this concept of that love flows downward and respect flows upward. So love is a man that can love a woman, and then a woman loves her children. And then respect flows upwards. So children respect their parents, and then the mom can respect the husband, but she's incapable of loving him. Now, what that video pointed out was that a woman doesn't love the man. She actually loves the way the man makes her feel. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. A lot of people took that as a negative comment, something against women of some sort, because I'm saying that the woman cannot love the man. It shouldn't be taken that way. It just is what it is. It's biology. It's evolution. It's the fact that there were times in the past, I'm talking about centuries ago, not even that far ago, a couple hundred years ago, where there were times where a man would be killed, whether he was out hunting, whether he was out scouting, whether he was at war, and she had to detach herself and go find another man to provide for her. So women have always had this natural ability, if a man is not providing for them, to go ahead and find another man to provide for them. And that's just part of their nature. There's nothing really against it. They're attracted to people that can provide for them. And that's who they show respect to, is the people that provide for them. But it's not the same thing like the love that they have for their children, because you got to realize a child can be terrible. A child can make your life very inconvenient, give you grief every single day, be very emotionally stressful, and she will never leave her child. And that's part of her nature too. That's what keeps the human race continuing on. That's just part of her biology that makes her want to take care of that child so that we continue the human race for more generations to come. So these things that I talk about on our channel aren't meant to be misogynistic or anything of that sort. It is literally just the biology of women, the nature of women, and also the nature and biology of man as well. And a lot of people want to deny what this is, you know what I mean? And they want to use all these other words and say, oh, you're against feminism and all this stuff. Look, I'm just telling you what the nature of individuals are. And if you want to say that it's mean for me to say that, I apologize for being correct. And, you're welcome to have your own opinion. Everybody should have their own opinion, and we don't even have to argue about it. Come on my comments, leave your comment, let the world know what you feel, and I'm going to post my videos and let the world know what I feel. And then you can post your videos on your page and let the world know what you feel. It's not a big issue at all, and everybody's welcome to whatever they want to say, but we're doing pretty good on our channel, so I'm going to continue saying what I got to say. So that's kind of the gist on that video right there, the one that's at 245,000 views right now, and a lot of people took it negative. There were a lot of guys even that came on there, and I'll kind of give you the breakdown as I see it. It's got thousands of comments on it, but this is kind of the breakdown in opinions that I see. I would say 75% of men agree with the video. There's 25% of men that are currently in relationships and feel like the women they're with love them because they haven't reached the point in the relationship yet and they may never reach it, I admit that, where the woman breaks it off or they decide not to be together. They'll still say, oh, they feel like they're in a loving relationship. But so that's 25% also. And then you have the women. And this was very unique when I saw the women's comments on the video. I would almost say it was 60% of women actually agree with the video, and then 40% don't agree at all. And a large amount of the 60% of women that agree with the fact that they never truly love a man and they only love the way a man makes them feel, would put out the idea that they can love a man, but with conditions, right? It was definitely dependent upon conditions of what the man can do for them. And for me in particular, a lot of people try to justify this reasoning by saying there are different levels of love. I don't believe that whatsoever. I believe that love is just one thing, and that's an action of a person trying to help another person, just out of their own goodness of their heart, not for any personal gain. They just want to help somebody. And that's what you see between a mother and a child. That's what you see between a man and a woman. And that's what you see between parents and children also. But that's not what you see between a man and a woman. A woman has conditions for you to be in a relationship with her. And that's that she feels protected, her situation is stable, and she also feels peace at the same time. It's not naturally reliant on money, but generally money provides some stability. If you got to have a house, you got to have electricity. She's got to have her main needs taken care of to a certain extent, some more than others. So there are things that a woman requires from a man, and a man is the only person in the world that a woman requires something from to be loved. That's what they say, love. Now, I don't say love. I say that a woman respects them as their leader and allows them to lead them. Women call it love, though. I call it respect. And they probably should have never used the word love anyways, but it just is what it is. So that's kind of my thoughts there. I didn't really want to make it. I know the couple minute grab of it didn't give me enough time to truly explain what was going on. But hopefully this podcast, for people that are interested in watching this, can understand what I'm saying with that right there. And it's nothing negative by any means. Men have their own certain biological characteristics also that they can't ignore either. And so it's not that there's a winner or a loser. And in my opinion, and I try to say this, it's definitely in my book. And let me show you guys something. A lot of people, before you have a bad opinion of me, I want to show you something in my book real quick. On the very inside of the front cover right here, all right, there's a little bit of information right there. It says, protect your happiness, always focus on your kingdom, treat women with respect, never argue with a woman, never become emotional with a woman, positivity, knowledge, and strategy. So before you get on TikTok and say that I'm out here trying to disrespect women, or before you get on any sort of forum and say, hey, that guy over there, that Royal Compass guy on TikTok, he's disrespecting women. My book literally says, never argue with a woman, treat women with respect, and also always remember the value women hold. I'm one of the few people on the internet that are in a community trying to help men that says women are just as valuable as men. We're not the same, though. That's the difference. That's something I want to make 100% true, as far as I want to make it 100% apparent about the way I think, is that I do not think men and women are the same. We may be humans, but the way we think and the way we process things is different. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think what the book talks about, and what I try to talk about in my videos, is the fact that most men think that women are the same as them. And the truth is, we are so far different, but we're told by the media and by laws and by different agendas being pushed throughout the world that we're equal. Now, we may have equal rights, and we may be trying to earn women equal pay, but the way we process thoughts, our biologies are similar in a few characteristics, but mentally they're very different, the way that we work and the way we process things. And because of that, our thoughts become our emotions and thoughts become actions. So a lot about what goes on in your brain is evidently very important to how you play out what you do in life. So the way a man does things is definitely different than the way a woman does. Now, there may be times where it's the same, but there's a lot of times where it's different. And I did a video, the second video that really popped off this week, was called Men Are to Blame for 99% of the Failures in Relationships. Now, this video has the most views on our channel. It's over 300,000 views. The women have blown it up. It's got 57,000 likes on it. It's getting shared all over the internet. And I'll just say this real quick. I mean what I said, but we have to look at it through the correct perspective. And a lot of my videos, people are looking at it through the brainwashed perspective of the modern day culture. And I want to show you how I look at that phrase right there so people can better understand it. The men that are out there right now, because that video was to men. It wasn't to women. All the videos that I do on my page are directed towards men. Now, that doesn't mean the ladies out there, we have a large contingency of ladies that follow the Royal Compass page on TikTok, and I love every single one of you guys. You guys are all fantastic out there. If you ever have any questions, need any help, hit me up. You can message me on, some people have already messaged me on direct messenger asking for advice, asking questions. I try to engage in the comments section as much as I can. Sometimes there's just so many comments, though I can't get to all of them, obviously, and I think it's only going to get worse from here, but I try to do what I can, spend a couple hours a day in the chat, responding to people. It's always me, it's nobody else. And I just realize, even though these videos are directed towards men, you're free to watch them, and I think you can learn a lot from watching them. It may help understand why some things are happening in your situation, in your relationships, and it may not be something that's happening right now, but maybe in the future, there may be a situation that plays out that you can look back at this video and say, hey, you know what? I remember they talked about this over there on Royal Compass, and because of that, I'm going to go ahead and maybe see what I can do to get in contact with Royal Compass, and maybe they can help me out. With that being said, I do want to say this real quick. Ladies, a couple of you guys have already contacted me about the book. Like I said, if you got a man that's going through it right now, you really care for him, and he's done good for you, but maybe he's hit a rough patch and he's kind of in his feelings and emotions, this is a great gift for him. Blueprint of a King, Royal Compass, The Pursuit of Excellence. It's $300. I know it sounds like a lot for a book, but the minute you go to marriage counseling, the minute you have to file a divorce, the minute whatever happens, it's going to cost a lot more than this book. And this book will change any man's life. So feel free, get this over at royalcompass.com. I personally sign them all, and you get free access to me. I'll give you my email address, and if it gets really serious and we got to get on the phone, we'll get on the phone. So just let me know anyways. But with that being said, the video, the second one, but the most popular one that blew up on the channel, that 99% of relationships fail because of the men. This had great response. And women came on the page and supported this video. I felt like I freed every single woman when I posted this video. Everybody was like, thank you for posting this. I've never heard a man say this, and I'm glad to hear it. And you could tell that, you know, the women of the world have been through a lot just by the reactions to that post. Like I said, it's almost 60,000 likes already, hundreds of thousands of views. I think it's going to be my #1 video probably forever. But with that being said, let me give you the perspective that was said, because it was directed towards men. I want men to know that. And a lot of men come to me and say, hey, she cheated on me. And I'm like, okay. And you think that's where the relationship went wrong? And because that's what they bring up. They're like, that's why we split up, because she cheated on me. And I had to tell a gentleman the other night, her cheating on you wasn't where the relationship went wrong. Her cheating on you was a result of what went wrong in the relationship before. And the guy didn't really understand what I was saying there, but one of the things that I've come to realize, and what my book primarily teaches and what we try to teach at Royal Compass, is the fact that from the beginning of the relationship, a man needs to act in a certain manner for the relationship to work. If he doesn't act in this certain manner and do a couple critical things, the relationship is bound to fail. And a lot of men haven't been taught these things. Now, there is a 1% of man out there that had a great father that already knew these things, or had a great support system, maybe of brothers or uncles around them that taught them these things. And you can learn them other places. Sometimes people in your neighborhood, other adult male figures in the neighborhood may have told you this, or maybe you just had somebody around the family with quite a bit of wisdom about female nature that went out their way to make sure that you knew what you needed to know. But a lot of people nowadays don't. A lot of gentlemen out there, especially younger gentlemen, 16, 20, 24, have been raised without fathers in the household. And that's why it's ever more important than ever before to get this information out to them, because it will change their lives. It'll give them a new perspective, and it will help them navigate and have healthier relationships. This material here is not degrading to women at all. I say it many times in my book. Value the women in your life. Treat them with respect. Never argue with them. Never cause them to be oppressed, depressed at all. And you should always just always wish them the best of luck, and you want them to be as good as they're going to be and do whatever they want to do. And from the beginning of the relationship, you need to do that with every woman you meet. Too many men nowadays meet a woman, don't know they won't know anything about her, and they'll jump directly into a relationship with her. And for some reason, they think that's a good idea. They may even first date, get her pregnant. Next thing you know, they got a baby on the way, and they're handcuffed to each other for the next 18 years. And let me tell you this, just think this to yourself real quick. Would you go out on the street right now? If you're a woman, would you find a random man? If you're a man, would you go out and find a random girl and handcuff yourself to her for the next 18 years? Think about how risky that would be, handcuffing yourself to a stranger. Well, that's what a lot of men and women do nowadays. Now, I'm focusing mainly on the men here. That's where I shoot my shot at, all right? So, as a man, would you want to go out, see a beautiful woman and handcuff yourself to her for the next 18 years? For the moment, you'll probably be like, yes, I would. Because that's how most of you guys actually act. But if you were to do that, you would have to realize that you know nothing about this lady. But a lot of you guys rush out, meet a lady, and then jump directly into a relationship with her without learning anything about her. Now, this is the first mistake you make that causes you to be responsible for 99% of the failed relationships. There is no way that you should allow yourself as a man to jump directly into a relationship with a woman where you are focusing on her. You should actually never put all your focus on a woman in your life. If you do that, it's bound to fail right off the bat. And if you don't give yourself time to vet her and prove herself to you, and I don't mean that in a negative way, ladies. What I mean is, when I meet a lady, I need her to show me who she is. I don't want to control her. I want her to be herself 100%. I want to know about her dreams. I want to know about the things she likes. I want to know about the things she hates. I want to know about the places she goes. I want to know about her friends, all that. Not that I'm being nosy. I'm just saying I want to learn as much as I can about the lady. And I never want to give her any idea that I care about what she does. And what I mean by that is a lot of guys out here don't want you ladies going out. A lot of guys out here don't want to see you go out with your friends or stay late at work, or don't want to see you, just go anywhere by yourself. A lot of gentlemen are very insecure. And don't ask me why. They like to go through your phones. They like to turn your tracking on your phone, crazy shit like that. Who knows what they like to do, right? But that's a sign of insecurity, and it's a sign of them not valuing themselves. And it's also a sign of them not understanding the nature of how women work. And as we go through this conversation here, I'll explain that to you more, and you'll see how that unfolds. But if they understood the nature of a woman, they would understand that it benefits the man to let the woman do whatever she wants. And let me explain that real quick. A man should allow a woman, when he first meets her, to do anything she wants to. Not to him, not anything violent or anything of that sort. But what I'm saying is, he should let her go wherever she wants to and encourage it. Like, hey, girl, what you got going on tonight? She says she's going out with her homegirls. Be like, hey, that's great. I hope you have a great time. You have a good night. Just, hit me up whenever. And off she goes. Because you want to see what she's going to do. You want to see the type of interaction she has, the type of event she goes to. You need to know these things as a man, just so that you know what to expect if she gets closer to you, if that makes sense. And then also, as a woman engages you and wants to learn more about you, you need to be very open with her about the things that you expect from a woman that you're engaging with. Meaning, if I'm talking to a woman and she's cute, she's attractive, she seems very nice to me, somebody that I might find myself in a relationship with in the future, I may reference not a real, but may reference a relationship in the past that maybe didn't work out, not because of me, but maybe because the woman that I was engaging at the time was not able to do certain things that I require of an individual to be in a relationship with me. And what I mean by that is, me as a man, I really don't like to argue. So right off the bat, I will tell women that I don't want to be in arguments. And if you're the type of woman that wants to be in an argument, you know, it's probably not going to last long. But if I say it to her in that manner, it may become offensive. It may seem like I'm accusing her of a person that like to argue. So I'll say something along these lines. She may ask me, so why are you single? And I'll say, well, the truth of the matter is the last girl I was, she just always wanted to argue, and I'm just not the type to argue. You know, and when she continued to argue, I just told her, hey, you know, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to argue with you. That's just some shit I'm not on. And because of that, I had to cut her loose. And by telling the woman it in that fashion, it doesn't seem like you're telling her that she can't argue with you, but you're just informing her why the last relationship didn't work out. And that woman will remember that in her mind, and she'll remember that in order to be with you, she needs to not argue with you. And it's a very clever way of telling a woman that you may be engaging with what you're willing to tolerate without demanding it from the lady you're talking to at the moment. So that's another thing a man needs to do when he first meets a lady, is explain the expectations of what he needs in order to be in a relationship with them. Because the truth of the matter is, women want to make guys they like happy. That's a fact. When a woman meets a man, she wants to make him happy if she likes him. Right off the bat, when she meets you, she knows nothing about you. She just finds you attractive. She probably thinks you're funny. She thinks you're charming. You got charisma. She wants to make you happy. That is a fact. But here's the problem, guys. She doesn't know what you like unless you tell her. She can try to decipher it from your behavior, but she really doesn't know. And she's waiting for you to tell her what you like and what you expect so that she can make you happy. That's a thing women naturally want to do. That's part of their nature when they meet you and they're interested in you. That's not something they like to do. That's something they have to do. It's part of their nature. If you see a woman flirting with you, talking to you, trying to learn about you, she's trying to learn these things so that she understands how to make you happy, how to strike up more conversation with you, how to compliment you, and at the same time, she's assessing you based off your answers that you're giving her. And it's very important that you give her truthful answers, and you also let her know the things that you like and expect from a lady that you're engaging, because this is the moment where she is trying her hardest to really get you engaged with her, because she sees something in you that she desires. She sees a man that can provide for her. She sees a man that's strong at that point. Or if you're not strong and you just got a lot of money, she may see a man that can make sure that her life has a lot of stability in it. So this is a point where a woman's trying really hard to impress you, and you got to give her the information and feedback, the input, to allow her to know how to impress you correctly. Some guys are really good at this. Some guys are a little too scared to really say what they want. And then some guys are just really good at it, where they just come straight out and say, hey girl, you look really good. You want to go in the back right now? And a lot of times that really works if a guy's confident enough to pull it off. And I'm not saying every girl goes for that by any means, but some girls do go for it just because they see a guy that they're so wrapped up in. He's just so handsome and fly that she goes for it. She's like, man, this dude's just got it all. The guy that I've been dealing with, he just sits in front of the NBA 2K all day. He doesn't show me any attention. And this guy right here just told me I'm the most beautiful, fine thing he's ever seen. And, I haven't had sex in 3 weeks, so I'm going to go for this. And that happens a lot. Trust me, we got some people that are going to be coming on the show here in the near future that have some crazy stories about women they met. And these are actual factual stories that'll be told here on the show. It'll be a fun time. But at the beginning of the relationship, remember this: you got to give her space to show her who she is, show you who she is. Not only that, you need to let her know what you expect out of a woman that's going to be in a relationship with you. And there's a very important reason for this here. Some of you guys out there have some pretty crazy things that you're into. And by letting her know these crazy things, or letting her know what you like or what you don't like right up front, you give her the opportunity to either be a willing participant or to back away from the situation. And at the beginning of the relationship, when she's really interested in you, you might as well throw it all out there on the table and say, hey, this is what I'm into. You know, what are you into? And she'll listen to everything you got to say, and she'll decide for herself whether she wants to move forward with you. And a lot of times, because you build the frame for the woman to exist in within y'all relationship, she will try it out with you. She will go the extra mile to try to please you because she is trying to secure you as a provider for her. Now, that doesn't sound too bad, does it, guys, right there? That's the same thing I said in the video about women never love men. They just love the feeling you give them because they want to feel peace, protection, and stability. So at the beginning of the relationship, the woman is sizing you up. She wants to know what makes you happy. You need to let her know. And if everything sounds good, and you're impressive, you know, she'll do whatever she can to please you. But it's not because she loves you. There's no way she could love you at the beginning of the relationship. And that goes back to our other video that women don't love men. So when the woman comes to the man at the beginning of the relationship, it's impossible that she loves him. But she's trying the hardest at that point. And the reason she's trying the hardest is she is trying to secure that man and his resources. And those resources don't necessarily have to be money. There's a lot of resources out there that a man could have. Any sort of affluence, assets, education, mental health, physical health, money, real estate. There's numerous things that a man can have. And you could have some on this side and none on this side and still be great for that woman. Or you could be completely opposite and that woman will still love you as long as she has peace, protection, and stability. But at that point, she's trying very hard to get you when she first sees you. So throw it all on the table, let her know what you like. And chances are she's already so wrapped up in you at that point that she'll be interested, that she'll want to move forward with you and accept the things that you told her, even if they're crazy, because she likes you at this point. You haven't disappointed her. You haven't oppressed her. You haven't stressed her out. You haven't made her depressed. You haven't had a chance to go through her phone. You haven't had a chance to show up at her job or do all these psycho shit things that men do. You haven't done any of those things at that point. Sorry for hitting the microphone. At this point, this woman has never been hurt by you. So she's willing to go the extra mile. But once again, a lot of guys don't do these things. And that's where they're 99% to blame for the failure of the relationship, because they don't know how to set the relationship up in the first place. It's not the fact that the relationship ends because the man doesn't want to be in it. It's because they never knew how to produce a healthy relationship from the beginning and actually lead a woman in a healthy direction. They just jump into a relationship. They expect a woman to know how to please them, even though they've never explained it. And this causes a lot of stress on the woman because she has to try through trial and error throughout the relationship to please a man that she doesn't know how to. So it's like throwing darts blindfolded. She hopes she's hitting a bullseye, but most of the time she's not. And when she doesn't, the man becomes frustrated at that point. And this brings me to the next point. You should never become frustrated with a woman at all. You need to understand that women are emotional creatures. It's like a sea going up and down with them. You know, they may see something on TV and it starts to make them feel very sad. And next thing, and actually, let me take that back. Let me give you another example. Something that's happened to me quite a few times. Every once in a while, my girl will come out and say, "Do you want to be with me?" And I'll be like, "What are you talking about?" And she'll tell me, she's like, "I don't know. I was just wondering if you want to be with me. I just don't know." And I'll be like, and I understand how these things work with her. So I'll kind of prod her to tell me what she's saying. And she'll say, "Well, I was watching this show on TV and the guy he worked a lot. And then he ended up cheating on his girl. And, you know, and it just kind of made me think." And that's really how women are. It doesn't really make too much sense to a guy why a woman would be like that because everything's going great in your relationship. But women can be influenced by certain things like stuff on social media, stuff on the television, books they're reading. It can be the sun coming up and it'll make a woman feel bad sometimes. It's just how an emotional creature is. And as a man, it's your responsibility to understand this and know how to cater to that emotion without becoming offended by it, because they're not us. They're not men. You know, we like to say that men are mostly logical. They do have emotions, and women are mostly emotional, and they do have logic. And we require each other to be different in that fashion, because that's where we get our strength from one another. A man, when we raise the child, is very logical. We teach the child logical reasoning, how to solve, difficult situations in life, how to attack problems. And it's not that a woman can't do that, but the woman's influence mainly is on the emotional side. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how nature created us. And because of that, we need each other. I am just as valuable as the woman partner I'm with in life. And never will you hear me say anything different. And I know sometimes in those 60-second clips on TikTok, you may misconstrue what I say on there because it's a condensed version. But when you hear it laid out like this, I think you will start to see the lens which I am projecting these facts to you through. And they won't be so offensive, okay? Because the truth of the matter is we have different. I have breasts, women have bigger breasts. It is what it is. Everybody's got breasts. It just is what it is. You get what I'm saying? But they're different. So that's how men and women are. Men have emotions, but women have bigger emotions. Men are more logical. Women are a little less logical. They're more emotional. And don't take that the wrong way. But it just is what it is. There are differences in the two. And we need to respect that. And sometimes through the political ideology that's being pushed out, or the agenda between the sexes that gets pushed, all this stuff gets clumped together that we're the same. But we need to start respecting the fact that we're not exactly the same. There's a reason why a 2-parent household produces probably what are I don't even want to say it like that, but I think the best household for children would be a household that has a mother and a father in it. It doesn't need to be the biological mother and father, but I think a household that has 2 parents in it is the best way to raise a child. Now, if you have 2 parents that are the same sex, kudos to you, nothing against it, but I just endorse 2 parents, a mother and a father in a household. I think that's the most healthy way. But I'm going to be honest with you. Any child out there, if you have a parent in their life willing to take care of them in a good manner, I think that's always wonderful. We need to do the best we can to help raise the kids out here. And that's one of the responsibilities. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing the podcast that I'm doing. Because there are a lot of young men coming up that are being raised by mothers that don't have fathers in the household. And I'm not trying to promote poisonous ideas. I'm trying to show you where men sometimes don't understand the nature of a woman. And it leads them down a path of frustration. Because remember, like I told you, a woman enters the relationship and she doesn't know how to please you. She's going to be trying a lot of different things to figure out what makes you happy. And if she does the wrong thing, a lot of guys out here will become frustrated. They will really become frustrated, and they'll get angry and they'll say, why did you do that? And she'll be like, I don't know. I thought you'd like it. And he's like, no, I didn't like it. And that may sound crazy, but I think we all know guys that have anger issues. And the reason they have anger issues is they don't understand the nature of a woman. They don't understand the nature of a woman. If they did understand the nature of a woman, they would understand that becoming angry with her is one of the worst things you could possibly do. And that's one of the reasons I don't argue with women at all. There's no reason to become angry with any woman for the most part, because by the time that a woman would become angry with you, even if it was undeserving, you shouldn't even be around that woman. Women should be able to come and go freely in your life. And men nowadays, for some reason, don't think that. A lot of men out here feel like they can control a woman to the point where, oh, you can't leave, or you shouldn't leave, or I'm going to tell you shouldn't leave. Me, once again, if you want to go, you should go. If you want to go out tonight, you should go. If you don't want to be with me, you should go. And I'm going to tell you why, because I want you to be happy. And this is one of the points where men give up their power. Another reason that they're 99% to blame for the failure of relationships. They give up the power to lead. And I'll tell you why. When you have an insecure man that demands that his woman stay home, or you have an insecure man that doesn't want his lady to go out with her friends, basically, you're giving up a power that you have for a later situation. And that is when you want to go out. When it's time for you to go out, guess what's going to happen? Because you said she should stay home. She's going to look you in the face and say you should stay home. And then you have no way to justify you going out because you said you want her to stay home. So now she's going to tell you you should do the same because you led her. You told her, hey, we don't go out without each other. And now she's going to treat you the same way you treated her because that's what a person in the following position does. She mimics what you're doing. Where in the first place, if you would have told her, look, go out with your friends, girl, have a good time. And then it became time for you to go out. You could say to her, look, I told you go out and have a good time. And now I'm about to go out and have a good time. And you go out. You don't cave to what she says. You go out because you let her go out. And it's not that you trusted her. It's actually because you need to find out who she is all the time. A woman will let you know who she is if you allow her to do the things she wants to do. And sometimes when you tell a woman, go do what you want to do, it might not work out good, but that's okay because that lady just showed you who she is now. If you're staying with a woman and she goes out with her friends all the time, you should allow her to do that. And if by chance she ends up cheating on you or she ends up doing something you don't like, it just is what it is. You have to accept that. And at that point, you need to realize that she's not meant to be your lady anymore. Okay? She's not meant to be your lady, and let her go. There was nothing you were going to do that was going to stop that. That was something she wanted to do. But a lot of you guys try to control your woman. You won't let her go out. And yeah, she never cheats on you, but you try to control her through force, keep her in the house. Oh, no, you can't go out without me. Okay, well, she's not going to cheat on you at that point. She's not going to step out on you at that point. She's not going to do what she wants to do at that point. She may never have been faithful to you. You may have just been controlling her to the point keeping her in the house. But if you would have let her go out in the first place, maybe she would have. And the thing about that is, as bad as that sounds, you were going to find out that she would have sooner if you would have let her gone out than if you tried to keep her in the house. And anybody that's in your life that's not there for you, you want to find that out as fast as possible. Because the difference between letting her go out when you first meet her and trying to keep her in the house for a year and then her getting out could be the difference of you having a kid with her or not. So you want to allow a woman to go out when you first meet her and do whatever she wants to do. And you want to find out if that woman's going to be loyal to you right off the bat before you end up having a kid with her, signing a lease with her, getting a car with her, or doing anything else stupid that you could do with this lady. You want to find that out right from the bat. And you only find that out one way, and that's by letting her do her. So that's a big fatal flaw men make nowadays. There are a lot of men out there that are very emotional that try to control a woman through force. And I'm not necessarily saying putting their hands on them. I'm saying the men out there that say, no, you can't go out. Or no, I don't want you to go out. The number one thing that should come out your mouth when a lady is with you is, I want you to do whatever you want to do to be happy, sweetheart. That's what you should always say. If a woman says, I want to go get Chinese food right now, I'll be back in 30 minutes, say, hey, go ahead. It's cool. And if she says, hey, I want to go out with my girls tonight to the club, say, hey, that's cool. That's not a problem. Do whatever you want to do. Even if it's something that at the beginning of the relationship, you told her that you don't expect a woman in a relationship to do. And the reason you still tell her go ahead and do it is because while she's doing something that you already told her you don't want to do, you don't want her to do, you need to take that and put it in your mind that she's not respecting you. And at that point, you've allowed her to do something that you've already asked her not to do. You need to take a mental note and say, hey, this lady doesn't respect me. She can't be my queen at all. But a lot of you guys have told women that you don't like certain things and they still do it. And then you stay in the relationship with them. And when you stay in the relationship with them, it empowers them to do it even more. They know that you don't have any sort of backbone and that they can run all over you. And that is a very bad place to be. Because at that point, she realizes that you're not the king of your kingdom and that she's running the kingdom. And trust me, every woman out there wants as much power as possible. They love power, especially over a man. They'll take it and they'll wield it in a way that they have no control. You hear me? There's no control when a woman gets power. She just goes crazy. You hear me? Ladies, don't be too offended by that statement right there. But with that being said, you need to stand up for yourself. If you let a woman know at the beginning of a relationship that you're expecting her not to do certain things in order to be with you, then if she does them anyways, when you let her do whatever she wants, we have an issue there. She's not respecting what you ask for in return for what you can provide. And at that point, once again, you need to take a mental note. You don't get emotional with her. You don't get angry with her. You don't get upset. You literally just say to yourself, she can't be my queen at this point. She's not qualified herself to be my queen at that point. And a lot of women out there may say, oh, well, why should I have to do something or all that? Look, this is directed towards the men. It's your responsibility to maintain your happiness in your life. That doesn't come from anybody else, which means it's your responsibility to make sure that you are happy every day. And when a woman is not respecting your wishes as a man, and you're providing everything that is required of a man, providing peace, protection, stability, not if you're a douchebag, but if you're an actual good, honest guy, then you have the right to say, if I'm not being respected as a man, I don't necessarily need you around like that. Now, you don't want to kick her to the curb. You don't want to get all mad at her and burn the bridge. You never know when that lady may have something or anything that she may be able to help you out with. Maybe one night you're lonely and you want some company. If you would have burned that bridge, she wouldn't be an option to come over. Maybe your car breaks down and you just want to hit her up for a ride. If you burn that bridge, she can't help you out. Maybe, and there ain't no telling, there's anything in the world you can imagine that you might need a woman for. Don't burn the bridge with her and become emotional with her or get angry at her or yell at her or throw things or break her phone, because you want to have as many people at your disposal as possible. And she can be one of those people. But the minute a woman does something you don't like and you get angry at her, she's not going to do anything for you. Because when you get angry at her, she will become stressed out, depressed, and feel oppressed at the same time. So with all that being said, sorry about this, Mike, I'm trying to get it right. With all that being said, let a woman do whatever she wants. That's the next thing that you need to do that most men don't do. The next reason that men are to blame for 99% of the failure in relationships. You have to let her do what she wants to do. All right? That way you can see who this lady really is. You can see if she's really loyal. Because imagine this. There are going to be dozens of women come in and out your life throughout your life. There already have been. There are probably a lot of single guys watching this video right now that have been in relationships with dozens of women, and right now they're just single. Every single woman you ever met has come in and out your life. And maybe that's your fault that they've come in and out your life because you didn't understand this female nature that we're speaking of here. But maybe they also were just not the right one for you. They weren't the right fit. And that's okay. We have to start realizing as men that every woman isn't fit for us. And matter of fact, we're all very unique in certain ways, things we like to do, that you shouldn't settle for anybody until you find that unique person that's perfectly made for you. And you will find them. They are out there. I promise you that. It may take a while for you to find them, but they are out there. But while you're in that pursuit of that individual, it would be nice to have the company of all the ladies you've ever met ever before in your life. And let me ask the guys out there, and I know this is recorded, so you can't really give me a live answer, but most guys out there right now, I think they'll be honest with themselves. And I'm not even going to say most, but we'll say some. There are some guys out there right now that will say they burned a lot of bridges with a lot of women they've been with. And that is a big mistake, because while you're searching for that perfect lady, it would be a blessing for you to still have access to relationships with all the women that you've ever met in your life before. That would make the time that you spend searching for that one perfect lady a lot easier, because you have different relationships with different women that you can interact with when you want to interact with them. You know, but too many men become emotional with a woman because they didn't let a woman know what they expected from them at the beginning of the relationship, and she's not doing the right things now. They'll become emotional, get mad, and because of the stress she's feeling, because she's feeling depressed because he's mad at her, they'll start looking for other ways to feel more stable, secure, and protected, and probably step out of the relationship at that point. And that manifests itself in cheating. And that's where the guy says, oh, well, she cheated and that's where our relationship messed up. No, it didn't mess up there. It messed up because there was a litany of things that you should have did at the beginning of the relationship that are all in this book that would have set up a good foundation for you guys to build off of. That lady that you think wasn't right for you could have been perfect for you if you would have set the relationship up with the right foundation. That was something I went through. That's something a lot of my friends went through. This isn't something that you just know coming out of the pocket. This is something that, you know, nowadays has to actually be told to men, either by fathers that are very knowledgeable on the subject or by other people, like we said at the beginning of the show. So with all that being said, think about it this way. Think about all the women you may have loved in your life and the relationship didn't work out. If you would have had the proper understanding of female nature, those women may have been perfect for you. But it was actually your failure in even realizing that you didn't understand the female nature and didn't understand these things that you need to do at the beginning of the relationship that set her up to fail in pleasing you in the way a woman should. And that's why the video on TikTok is called 99% of the blame falls on the man for the failure of the relationships. It's not because the last act isn't a cruel act by a woman. It's because the beginning of the relationship, the leader of the relationship, the man never led. He didn't even understand how to lead. So when you see these videos on my TikTok, it references this conversation. Now, there are hundreds and thousands of nuances to different relationship situations, but they're also, we'll explain them over more videos, and they're to come. But that is like a general wrap up of what the conversation on my TikTok has been about. And hopefully for the ladies that come here now and for the men that come and watch this, you have a better understanding of where I'm going with that. And I also want to say this real quick about women, if a woman cheats. In this particular situation that we've been hypothesizing here, if the woman cheats at that point, she doesn't tell the man for one reason. It's not that she's trying to do something sneaky in the manner that we generally think. What it is that the woman is very smart. What she's doing is allowing herself to still receive the benefits from you as long as she can until she secures the benefits from the other man that she's exploring a relationship with. And see, men don't do that. Men become emotionally charged with women when they become upset, and they just kick them straight to the curb. I hear a lot of men out there say, should I call it quits with her? And what I tell them is this: you shouldn't call it quits with any woman anytime unless you're in physical harm from that woman. Maybe she's psycho. Maybe she wants to kill you. There are women out there like that. That's when you call it quits. But other than that, you never really call it quits. You just let her do what she wants to do and let her be and wish her the best. You know, tell her, hey, look, you know, I've had a lot of fun with you. Things have been great. I just don't know if we're really that perfect match. I'd love to be your friend. I'm not seeing anybody else right now. I may see some people in the future, but I just, you know, I need that perfect match. And right now, what we got going on ain't really that perfect match. So, you know, you're free to do what you want to do. I still got much love for you and respect for you. And you can always hit me up if you want to talk, you need anything, I'm here. But it is what it is. And by doing that, she will respect that. She'll still feel comfortable with you. She may be a little mad, but that's okay. Women are emotional. Sometimes they get a little mad. Like I said, they could watch a TV show and be mad based off the stuff they see on TV. So there's nothing wrong with that. All right. And by treating her with respect and just being very open and honest with her and using this setup, this foundation here, you will find that she will venture out and run into dozens of guys that 99% of guys don't understand the female nature. And we even said it's more close to 1 out of 1,000. All right. 99 out of 1,000 don't understand female nature. And that's why our page is so popular right now, because we're saying a lot of things that people have never heard before. But if you understood female nature, you would be very open with women. You would be willing to let a woman do whatever she wants. And you would love that for her. Because you understand that that openness and that love for her to do whatever she pleases, whatever makes her happy, even if it's leave you, is going to give her so much peace when it comes to you. No other man has ever told a woman that. Think about what a woman must feel like when you say, hey, look, I think you should be so happy that if your happiness includes walking away from me, you should walk away from me. She's going to be like, what the hell is you talking about? No guy has ever said that. Every other guy tries to control me. She's going to love you for just letting her do what she wants to do. She's going to love you for not going through her phone. She's going to love you for not asking where she was at or not wondering why she didn't answer her phone. She's going to love you for that. Because, and it's not even that she's loving you. She's loving that feeling that you're giving her of peace. No other guys give her that, guys. Just because I'm talking about it here, I'm 1 in 10,000. You hear me? The way I approach it is so strong that you're not really going to find many people that can approach it with the confidence that I approach it with. So if you're somebody like me, you're 1 out of 10,000. Okay? You're the 1 out of 10,000 that's not going to give that woman any problem about anything she does. And that is the ultimate peace. That's what a woman wants more than anything. And not only is it peace, it's also protection, because you're protecting her emotions. You're making sure her emotions are protected at all times. You're not hurting them at all. You're not judging her. You don't want to know anything about what she's doing, because whatever she wants to do, that's fine with you already. And what you'll find is being that way with a woman will have her coming back to you a lot more than being controlling with a woman or trying to keep a woman around you and not understanding anything about her. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight of where I'm at, where we're going. Once again, this is just the first episode over here on YouTube. We're going to try to keep them at an hour for right now. I got a co-host that's showing up here in a couple weeks, and we're going to get on here together and have some great shows. His name's Jay Weathers. He is the godfather of Blueprint Royal Compass. Very smart individual that we'll have here on the show. Pretty flamboyant guy. Love him to death. But once again, if you're interested in this stuff, if you're interested in learning the fine details about this, more information about it, make sure to stop over at royalcompass.com. Pick up the book, Blueprint of a King by Royal Compass. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Like I said, you can only buy this through our site. It's $300. I know it's a little high, it may seem. We try to price it where people can still buy it. Everybody still has access to buy it. But if you've ever been through a divorce, you've ever been through a separation, you just had to hire movers, it costs more than this book does right here. And this book will change your life for the rest of your life. I think every man and every teenage son should have this book in their house somewhere if they're 16 years of age or older. There's nothing in here but respect for women. There's nothing in here but valuing women, and it shows men how to not become emotional with them and become stressed out. And there's too many guys around here now that are just in tears. They're yelling at women. They're beating on women. They're doing all sorts of things, and they don't understand why their relationships aren't working. This book will straighten that out, okay, if they take it serious. So with that being said, my name's MB here on Royal Compass, and I'm checking out. Peace out, guys. Let's go.
Yeah. And she belongs. belong to cuz, couldn't belong to me. She got 2 kids by this nigga, it was wrong for me.
She lead 2 lives with me, she's a bit freak with you, she play white. She try to complain about you to me, I stay out your mix. I have her breaking down Bella, watching porno flicks. She never leave you for me, cause she know that I ain't shit. I'm only good for dick. Cupid tried to hit me with his arrow, but that nigga missed. She said you a good man, but you boring, you don't excite her. She got kids with you and she love you, but you don't excite her. Yeah, she belong to cuz, couldn't belong to me. She got 2 kids by this nigga, it was wrong for me. But how she live with this nigga and be gone with me, and then go home to him after getting it on with me. He would die for his woman. It's really sad, he should've let her breathe. I don't give a damn about her. Got her out here chasing after me. All she gets from me is sex and weed, an environment that's judgment free. She says that that's more than enough.
She knows that I'm not the type to come.
She lives a double life. She wants to tell me about the other side. You don't owe me nothing, baby, live your life. Cause if I see Cupid's arrow, I'ma step aside. You'll be his come morning time, but tonight you're mine. Baby, tonight you're mine. You'll be his come morning time, but tonight you're mine.
Belong to cuz, couldn't belong to me. She got 2 kids by this nigga, it was wrong for me.
That girl human like everybody else. She deserve refuge even if it's with somebody else. Found it in me, now who's to blame? Yeah, I'm just saying. The man, now he's a lame, and that's a shame. She's a good woman, I'm too player, I never loved her. Plus they got kids and she love that nigga like a brother. Sometimes she wish that we ain't have to keep this undercover, but she know that I'm only good to be a secret lover. Yeah. She lead 2 lives with me, she's a bit freak with you, she play white. She try to complain about you to me, I stay out your mix. I have her breaking down Bella, watching porno flicks. She never leave you for me, cause she know that I ain't shit. I'm only good for dick. Cupid tried to hit me with his arrow, but that nigga missed. She said you a good man, but you boring, you don't excite her. She got kids with you and she love you, but you don't excite her.
She say you a good man, but you want, you don't excite her. She say you a good man, but you want, you don't excite her.